Hello and welcome to Talking Live. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig, right here in Starshot Studio in Times Square, where we tell you about the people you want to know about. And you are definitely going to want to know about this man. Dr. Gerald Imber is one of the top plastic surgeons in the country. I'm a huge fan of his products. He's going to tell you all about it, but this is my jar, okay, of his special night cream. He's written a book called The New Youth Corridor. He's also giving away special gifts, which we will tell you about. So if you like and share the show, you will be eligible to win a book, products worth almost $700, and also 15% off the No Peel Peel.
Indeed.
Is that right?
Yeah,
What is the No Peel Peel?
No Peel Peel is something we devised for people who don't have time to flake after they have a peel, and it's a special formula that melts the dead cells instead of making them flake off over a period of time. So you can come in, have the peel, and just go back around about your business and look better immediately. And it's just been great.
Well, I'm so glad that I found you. You are known as the man who can make anyone look 20 years younger. Wow. How amazing is that?
That's an exaggeration, but I'll accept it.
Well, listen, I get my news from town and country, and I just want to say that one of the top publicists in the country, I see her all the time. She's a frequent at Michael's. Her name is Peggy Siegel. I did not know this until I read an article in Town and Country, and she calls you Jerry and her lucky charm. And not only that, she wrote a book, a memoir, How to Look Like Me at 60, and then How to Look Like Me at 70. The woman looks 50. And she gave out a book to her birthday party friends, which is like Angelina Jolie, and she's like friends with all these top-notch people. I mean, that is just such a compliment to be called somebody's lucky charm.
I didn't show up at the birthday party. I was embarrassed.
Oh, really?
I went to one of her parties, which is very elegant, and it was one of her birthdays at a very fancy restaurant. And it just embarrassed me.
Did she?
But she's been very open and very nice, and I love her.
Yeah. So, and this is a woman who is on top of her game. And of course, as a therapist, I thought it was so interesting. She said that her mother always promised her, she always promised her mother that she would never get fat. So to her mother, being beautiful and well-groomed was very important. And that's what motivated her to write the book. She wanted to share all of her secrets. And that's a good girlfriend.
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. See? Yeah. We get the dirt over here.
Clearly, I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that I found you. I found you through a mutual colleague. And when we were talking, you said, Robi, I really want you to try my products before you talk about that. But I thought, okay, I'll try the products. I've tried a lot of products. And this is now the trio, my go-to. And I think I've added to it because I use your night cream, which has a retinol in it, your eye cream, the vitamin C, and your moisturizer. How did you just develop this?
I was afraid you were going to ask
that.
Oh,
really? So sorry about that. You can make it up as you go along.
It's fairly complicated, but basically I thought that all the products were junk, that they were all the same and they didn't do anything. And scientifically, I knew, this is 5, 6, 7 years ago, that the only product that really worked was a vitamin C serum. And I knew that from scientific research, and it had to be ascorbic acid in a certain percentage and done a certain way. And I'd found out that if you add melatonin to it, it gets exponentially more effective. It's not only reverses sun damage, but it prevents sun damage and just makes skin look great. So I fooled around with some of that stuff just like a crazy chemist, and I found a formula that I liked, and it was really ugly. And then I hired some professional to clean it up.
What did it look like when you created it?
It was brown and just awful, but it worked. So then I got some people to put it together, and it was just for my patients. And what happened was the woman who was running the whole beauty department at Harrods in London somehow got hold of it. She started to use it, and she had written to me and asked if she could buy some. And I said, well, send it to you. And then she asked if we'd sell our line in Harrods. I never had any idea of doing that, and we didn't have a line.
And Harrods, as most of you know, because my audience knows, is like the top retail store in London. I think there's only one that exists, right?
They do, yeah. And there's only one, and they do in that one store 10 times more skincare business than all the Saxes together in the world.
Wow.
That's a serious business.
Yeah.
But anyway, we put together some other products that I believe in, and sold them in Harrods. And that was the only retail outlet. And then Net-a-Porter asked if they could handle it. And we sell them. It was basically for my patients.
You just go fancy.
They're pretty fancy.
They're very fancy.
Well, the products are not inexpensive.
They're not.
And they all work. And we stand behind them.
Yeah.
And it's not the same as a $9 bottle of cold cream. It just isn't.
Yeah. I mean, I feel when I put this product, which has retinol in it and the melatonin on my skin at night, when I wake up in the morning, I really feel a difference. Like I notice it. And you told me I would notice it.
Yeah. Everybody says it takes about a week.
Yeah.
And then they just, everything changes. It's really, they're good products.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really want you to check it out. And not only that, we will have a link. If you go on youthcorridorclinic.com, is that right? Is that the right? Okay, we'll have a link. Yes. There's a 15% discount for anybody who goes on there from the show, so you can look around and get a discount. That's for anybody. That's not anything you have to win. But if you share and like the show, again, you will be eligible to win these 3 products, which is worth about $700, and a no peel with a 15% discount, and we'll share the details as well. During the summer is usually the toughest month to keep your skin looking glowing and healthy because of the sun. What do you recommend to your clients?
Well, I actually think that it's easier to keep your skin looking good in the summer than it is the rest of the year because of moisture, because of humidity. Because all the cells, the purpose of moisturizer is to plump up dead cells and hold the moisture in. Well, if you're in a heated space like this, your skin dries out.
Yeah.
But if humidity is 75%, as it is in New York in the summer, then your skin is sometimes oily, but it really, the cells are plumped up, wrinkles are less deep. So the skin actually is healthier in the summer, but the objective, of course, is sun protection, and you need much less moisturizer in the summer than you do the rest of the year. So we suggest to people that they use, particularly in the summer, the vitamin C serum in the morning, and after that put sunblock on, and after that whatever moisturizer they want on top of that. And the critical thing for everyone to understand is if you're using a therapeutic product, not cosmetic, these are therapeutic products. They have to go on.
And what's the difference between a therapeutic and cosmetic?
Actually, cosmetics you think of as paint.
Right.
And therapeutic is something that actually changes the substance of your skin and changes the quality.
Is that the same as a cosmeceutical?
Yeah, it's just basically the same thing. It's that far away from being something you need a prescription for it, because it actually does something. And so we tell everybody to use the vitamin C serum in the morning in the summer, and just act accordingly. If you have really oily skin, you won't need a moisturizer at all.
That's not my issue, but I also feel like the vitamin C is refreshing.
Yeah, well, the vitamin C is terrific.
Yeah.
You should use that every day. Terrific when your skin's dry and there's no humidity. It's terrific when the sun's out and there is humidity.
You talk about it in your book, which I really like, because I can tell that you are really a man of science and not of junk science, because you will not endorse something if it's not endorsable.
This is probably true.
It's very true, and it's a good thing. And you talk about, so this is the book also that the winner will get, but you can get it on Amazon, and I believe you can get it through your website as well.
You can get it on the website. You can get it on as an ebook on Apple. It's everywhere.
So it's everywhere, and also we'll be sharing, and you can check on my Facebook page for it. You talk about the difference in moisturizers from the past to now, and that in the past it just maybe would make your skin feel good, but it didn't necessarily do as much. Do we know more now?
We know more now, but the moisturizer is a really, I hate to say this, a slippery slope. And the reason I say that is the old moisturizers were just something to keep moisture in the dead cells. So Vaseline worked fine. You could use Crisco. I mean, who cared? Whatever you used, it was for that purpose. Then we started adding active ingredients, products, various products that like alpha hydroxy acids, and anything that would actively change the nature of your skin and improve it. The problem is that moisturizers are meant to make your skin feel good and not to set up any reaction. And so the more active ingredients you put in, the more you're walking a fine line. So my sense has become increasingly that you should use a pure treatment product and then a moisturizer afterwards to feel good, to moisturize the skin, to soothe it. But less and less often, I suggest active ingredients in moisturizers. So it's come, in my mind, full circle.
Yeah. And I just think about the different trends. There have been models, older models that have said, oh gosh, I didn't notice my neck was bad until I was in my 60s. And now I think people are so much more aware when it comes to beauty treatments. And I think you mentioned in your book that in the past, when people would wait too late to get, let's say, a facelift, that's when the trouble would be in terms of being natural, because it would then be
not possible.
It's
too
not
tight, pulling too tight and doing
right.
that nonsense.
And it looks horrible.
It looks like what it is.
Yeah. And I have to say that your friend Peggy, she I never knew she had anything done. She just looks fabulous. That's just amazing. Yeah. Makes me want to get a facelift right here, right now.
Right,
anyway,
you know,
it's not about me. It's not about me. But all of a sudden now people are noticing the neck in a way that never was. It's like become trendy.
Well, I think that people are more aware because it's no longer a secret. None of the stuff is a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about it. And one of the funny things that happened was when high definition television started,
shoot me.
10 years ago, exactly.
What's that about?
A lot of my patients are in the movies and television and theater. And we were it was insane. People, they just lined up because for the first time, you could see every blemish, every wrinkle, every smile.
It was painful.
It was,
It was really painful.
It's too accurate.
It's we don't need that much.
No more magic.
We don't need that much accuracy. And it used to be that the lighting would be so good that it could make somebody dead look fabulous.
Put a little Vaseline on the lens, come on.
Right. And I think something else too, in terms of the younger generation, all these selfies. So I noticed with me things I never ever noticed before. I would notice because it was up close and personal. And then there was an app that could make me look more like how I wanted to look in real life. And so people were coming in to plastic surgeons saying, I want to achieve the look that I achieved in this picture.
Yeah, that's interesting and also very difficult for us. For example, there are apps in plastic surgeons' offices that show patients so that you can see the change. I don't do that. But early on, one of them was developed for me. And it's a sales pitch, but you can't produce what's in the computer-generated image. So it's
you can
unfair.
Be kind of like a shyster. I just want to say, first of all, let me not forget, just in terms of the quotes. So I started following you on social media because I find your quotes inspiring. So just if you want to just follow Dr. Imber on his social media site, just because caring for yourself now equals being happy with yourself later. The quotes are inspiring.
That's absolutely brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is. So, but that's really the truth. I would share it, and you should be beautiful at every age, which is really true. And I think beauty at every age looks very different.
I told my patients often in this discussion that, to my mind, if a woman in her 50s has every right to be the hottest woman in the room.
Thank you.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
I knew I loved you for some reason.
You're not supposed to just fall off a cliff.
I agree. And I think, too, we're living longer. And so what my book was all about was I hated the idea of people having this internalized expiration date. It's taking us all a lot longer to grow up. We're living a lot longer. And because of the different treatments that are available in medical science through fillers and just Botox, we're able to maintain that youthful outer look. And I think,
you know, I say
yeah,
that what you want to look as good on the outside as you feel on the inside.
right.
And you know, people in middle age who are at the top of their game
Yeah.
want to look like they're at the top of their game.
That's right.
And it's different than it used to be. It used to be people who were in their 50s are thinking about retirement, you know, can't wait to hit 60 and retire.
Yeah.
Now you're running a full schedule and you want to keep going.
What would I do with myself?
Yep. Well, and the deal really is you have to start this when you're young.
Yeah.
And the people who could get the most out of I don't mean me as a plastic surgeon, but the skincare and the clinic and that sort of thing. The people who would get the most out of that are the young people, train themselves, not let things get out of hand, and start early and start before the horse is out of the barn. But all young people think they're invulnerable. It can't happen to me.
Yeah.
And guess what? It does.
I'm fortunate that my daughter, who's 16 and is interested in medicine and science, and she loves all the moisturizers and putting it on her. She'll take some of my stuff and I'll be like, that's not quite for you yet. But maybe she's a little unusual.
She'll learn and she'll use a sunblock and
So I think you start early on. Let me just, you talk a lot. And I just want to say that one of the things that we did together, and this is a fairly newer treatment, the microneedling with the PRP. Mm-hmm. And there you are. I was at your clinic, which fortunately is so close to where I live, and I couldn't be happier about it. But I just really enjoyed it. I went to work that night and I looked like I had a suntan. I felt great. And there was really, maybe some people have a little downtime.
Very little. Microneedling, the downtime depends on how deep the penetration is. And with everybody in our clinic, we start with a little less penetration to see how you do.
Yeah.
But even with the deepest penetration, it's one night.
Yeah.
And it's no big deal.
And I think my skin felt great afterwards.
You see, it looks better almost immediately.
Yeah.
It automatically, the PRP and the microneedling together each build up collagen.
And you're very funny too when you're giving injections. So Dr. Imber has a great sense of humor. And do you remember what you said to me?
I have no idea what I said.
It was very kind under the circumstances. There's a reason why this isn't black and white. You said, wow, you look ridiculous. And I thought that is a very kind statement given how I looked, which was not so great. Okay. So I read today, and then we're going to get to the quick five. I read something about epigenetics, and they're doing some animal testing on how skincare can be combined with epigenetics.
What are epigenetics?
Epigenetics, it's how the gene is influenced. And so the gene can be influenced by diet, exercise, and does it sound a little too good to be true?
No, it might be true, but I have... it ain't happening very quick.
It's not happening quick. Okay. All right. Listen, I like to be hopeful.
Yeah, it's hopeful.
I like to sit and
hope. Hopeful. I mean, no one would think that CRISPR gene splicing would no. If you told me about it 2 years ago, I would say you're making it up.
Yeah.
And now we can do gene splicing and change the whole course of a disease.
Right.
So there might be something there. Just because I don't know about it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So do you think that a facelift is the best way to get a youthful look?
The facelift is the best way to make your skin fit.
Okay.
That's the only way to make your skin fit. And that's really what it's about. And very little else. Mm-hmm. And so if you didn't have a good look before your skin got loose, you're not going to have a good look after it's tightened. So the other things have to go along with it. We do fat injections to build the cheekbones up. You have to do something about the little vertical lines so people start to get whatever your stage in life. If you're in the facelift stage of life, we devised a facelift 15 years ago or so. It's now the gold standard in the country, which is called a short scar or limited incision facelift. It's a tiny little incision, and it's not for old people.
Okay.
But it's for people who first see the first nasolabial lines or sagging at the jowls or a little bit under here, and without changing them and looking natural, with a week of downtime, it brings you back to square one. And then people say, well, how long is this going to last? And I try to make it clear that as I'm putting the last stitch in, you're aging. It's just real life. The way
it is.
But the way one's meant to evaluate this is to say that I have a twin sister. I had the surgery, and my twin sister didn't. And now it's 10 years later, and I feel that things are loosening up, but I always look better than she does.
Right.
That's the way, because there's no rule to say this is going to last 8 years and 9 months. It just doesn't work. Depends on how you age.
What's the youngest person you've given a facelift to?
No, I don't give them.
Oh. You don't give them?
I've done it for.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow today.
I guess some people in their 30s.
30?
Because, again, it's not about the calendar. It's about the mirror.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And you can look at your parents and see how they age.
Yeah.
You can look at your parents, if your mother or your father has a turkey gobbler or jowls or that sort of thing. It's coming.
Right.
I mean, you didn't earn it. It's coming. So what you want to do is, before these lines cross the jaw, you want to get rid of them, tighten the skin. So some people, they're in their 30s. For the most part, it's people in their 50s.
Yeah, I would think so. And what about the dark circles under the eyes? Would you like to do anything to me moving into the
There are a couple of things that work. The dark circles are caused by a couple of optical illusions. And basically, if you have a hollow under your eyes, the shadow makes it dark. If you have it's pigment in your skin, if the pigment granules are spread out like this, then it's not going to look dark. But if the skin's loose, they come together, so it's going to be dark. So what we do is sometimes fill in the trough under the eyes, and that separates the granules and gets rid of the shadow. And at the same time, we peel the skin, and that combination of ingredients is fairly effective for everybody.
Okay. So do you think that would work on me as well?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, good. I'm just asking. All right. We do something called the Quick Five, where our audience asks questions that they want to know about.
Okay.
All right. So they're all easy for you, but
Okay.
These are the questions people want to know. If I'm not ready to commit to surgery, are there less invasive options to improve my appearance?
Oh, you bet. That's something I should say. There are, and you should be aware of them. And most people, I think, ought to take advantage of those things and postpone the surgery as long as possible.
Oh.
For example, as you begin to age, the fat that's on the cheekbones drifts down. Sometimes it becomes a little jowly. Sometimes it becomes a little double chin. So we do two things at the same time. We do microsuction, which suctions out the double chin.
Did you create that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And tightens the jawline by irritating the skin. And at the same time, we take fat and inject it in the cheekbones. So if your skin is fairly beginning kind of not aging, but less elastic and doesn't look as tight as it used to, you think of the skin as a tent. If you make the tent pole a little higher by putting more cheekbone in, it tightens the skin. Also, the hallmark of beauty really is angularity. And a woman that has good cheekbones and a good chin hides everything else. They always look good. And that's really what it's about. So those are tricks that we try and teach people. And those things are minor surgeries. They're not facelifts. They're not quite injectables, but the downtime approaches 0, 1 night, 2 nights, and that's it. So there are stages into which one enters this world.
Yeah.
And part of it's in the creams and lotions. And then there are less invasive things, and then the surgery.
If finances is a concern, what is the best way to maintain one's youthful looks?
It's hard to give an honest answer. At some point, you have to take the plunge.
Yeah.
But before then, there are so many good skincare products now that if you use something, a good vitamin C serum like our Youth Carter serum and a good retinol, like Retin Ultimate and a good moisturizer, you're going to see the difference. If you do microneedling and PRP, that costs a little bit more, but you're going to see a difference. Those things help.
Can you see it after one treatment, or does it require several treatments?
I tell people that you should see how you look after the first treatment to see if you want to go forward. And everybody goes forward because you see the difference.
Yeah, and it feels really nurturing too.
The way it works makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I believe in it.
Yeah. And if you believe in it, I think that means something, because
so
you look at the research.
So much stuff is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're very honest about pointing that out.
Painfully.
Yeah, painfully. But it's a good thing. Okay, somebody wrote, I'm going away on vacation. What should I do and take in order to maintain a healthy skincare regimen while I'm away?
Well, it depends on where you're going. If you're going to the sun, obviously it's sunblock, and sunblock.
Okay.
And also vitamin C serum. If you're going to Iceland, then it's a really good moisturizer and the vitamin C serum, that sort of thing.
How often should I exfoliate?
I can't answer the question. Depends on what your skin is like. But it's something that should be done with some regularity. If you assume that you're not using a product with alpha hydroxy acid in it, then professional exfoliation, like using no peel and dermaplaning, it should be done every 6 weeks or so.
Oh, every 6 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
so quite frequently.
Yeah.
All right. The best laser treatment?
I don't know. Depends on what's wrong.
Okay, that's a good answer. Listen, you're amazing. I feel fortunate that you are so close to where I am so that I can visit. When did you know you wanted to be a plastic surgeon?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I was a general surgeon. I just come out of the Air Force.
Oh.
I was a general surgeon in Los Angeles, and my boss said that, you should consider doing this. And he called his friend who at that time was the chief over at Cornell, and he said, I have a kid for you.
Oh.
And I came, and I liked it.
And you liked it. And you must still like it.
It's a nice job.
It is a nice job, and it's nice to be so good at it and respected and mentioned in every single magazine. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. I know our audience is going to really love what you have to say. And I just want to remind everybody, you get a free book if you like and share, and you also get $700 worth of product and the 15% off the no peel if you win. So if you like and share the show, you can be eligible to win these great products, and we'll have information about Dr. Imber, where you can find him, and about the link where you can get 15% on his fabulous products. Seriously, this was depression, okay, depression. And I was very glad that they were coming today so I could get more. Thanks for joining Talking Live, and we'll see you next Monday.